I'm glad to be here in this interview and take part in the project. Yes, I'm the manager of the energy agency in the district of Kassel. We are working in the whole district, Kassel, in the process of energy transformation and renewable energies. And we are consultants for the public authorities, for the district, for the communities, and also for the citizens living here. That's my job. And but I also are a voluntary member of the city council in Wolfhagen since several years, and working here also for the energy transition. So I do this since about 20 years, working in Wolfhagen. And so I'm as an expert for energy transition, and I work in the process the whole time. So that's very shortly, that's what I do. With the first steps, we start in the 1990s. So it's very early compared from now. So, and yes, what did we do? We started with some small solar plants, with implementing energy management systems in the cities and also in the district, and starting to use local produced wood and wood chips for heating systems, and these things in a very low scale. These were the first steps, and especially in Wolfhagen, we had the situation that in the city, about 14,000 inhabitants, we had own utility company for the city, but not for our rural districts. The energy supply of the rural districts was in the hands of a big energy company, local energy company, but a big one. And the first step we did in that time in 22, we decided to start the process as of remunicipalization. That's very difficult for me, sorry. So we would take the ownership of the grids in the rural areas. And it was a long process lasting about 4 years. And finally, we took over the grids of the whole city. And this was not very easy, because it was at the start of the liberalization of the energy market in Germany, and we are some of the pioneers doing that. It was very difficult in discussing it with the energy company. So that was the first step, and then we thought about starting to start with the producing of our own energy, because we saw it's necessary to save the environment, and it's necessary to do something for our local economics. In the former times, all energy comes from outside, the electricity, the oil and gas for heating, everything. And so we decided to start with the production of energy. In that time in Germany, Germany started with a new law, the renewable energy law. And that was one point for us to look for, and where we can say, okay, it's economical for us to invest in local energy production from solar and wind and so on. And the next step was to look what kind of renewable energies are available in our area. Is it water? Is it thermal energy, or is it PV, wind? And we saw that wind energy is one of the key factors in our energy, in addition to solar power. And in that case, our own utility company, together with his manager, Mr. Rühl, who had the ideas and was the main person to start our process, started the discussion with the citizens to look what we can do, because our aim was from the beginning to have a participation with our people in doing this. And that eventually lead to the founding of the energy cooperative, this Citizens Energy Cooperative, is one idea for the direct participation of the people at the energy production. So this was the main step, and it was discussed in the city council with the people, and was a long process, about 2 years, until the cooperative was founded and started to work. And we started with about 300, 400 citizens from Wolfhagen participating in it. And another idea then was, or the first idea was that the cooperative should invest directly in a wind farm. But after more discussions, we decided to let the cooperative participate at the city-owned utility company. And this company is responsible not only for the electricity supply of the city, but also for the water supply of the city, and also for some small district heating projects. And when this decision was made, this was discussed in the city parliament, and finally we decided to do it in this way. And this was a very, very new idea for Germany to do it in this way. And this was in, I look, 2006. Just have a look on the timetable here, because I have not every date present. Yes, it was in this process. We also had a lot of work with our people in Germany. So we had some films, some movies presented to them, and discussion groups and so on, to get a lot of people working with us. And yes, this wind farm, this 4 plants with about the power of 6 megawatt, is the main energy producer now in Wolfhagen, together with a big solar plant. We also developed in 2010 for supplying also the city with solar energy. And the third column of the energy supply is a biogas plant, which was founded in 2011 from a cooperative of about 34 farmers. They found together to build their own biogas plant for supplying some buildings with heat in Wolfhagen, for example, a big school and the outdoor swimming pool of the city, and also to produce energy, electrical energy. And these three plants are the main factors of energy transition up to today. That this process we started with all people in the parliament. So we had to discuss it before we had the discussions in the parliament with the people to get one direction for the work, for our work. So we had the main people who work with us are working in one direction. That is very important for us, that all parties work together and not against another. And at every stage, we also involved the people in discussion groups, in the contact with the energy cooperative and so on. And we had big fortune to come into a research project. It was called 100% renewable energy. In Wolfhagen, we are one of 5 partners, one of 5 projects in whole Germany with our city to take part in this project. So over 5 years, we get subsidized from the Federal Ministry of Research for our project and for development. And that was a key factor for the participation of our people, motivate them for energy saving and also for investing by themselves in their houses and so on. And yes, this was to key factor to implement it in our city. What we cannot do, we cannot sell cheap energy to our people. So we have in Germany the renewable energy law. This means we had to sell the energy we produce in our plants to the utility company and resell or buy the electricity from the company. So physically we produce our energy here, but we cannot directly use it because of the laws. Up to now, but it's now slowly changing. That means we cannot sell cheap energy for our people, but every citizen can participate at the company. So the minimum share is 500 euros for one share, and it's possible to divide it into small sums and to pay it step by step in the following years, so that everybody really can participate, and you get the benefits from the shares, from the profit of the company. So that's the direct participation which is possible. As I told, we have the German laws, so everybody had safe access to energy, and still we have a lot of people who have problems to buy their bills. That's sure. And there in Germany, we have a project since about 10 years. It's called Stromsparcheck. So it means it's a free consulting for poor people with low income to save energy. So our personnel who does this goes to the households, make the consultings with measuring energy consumption and looking for the bills, and give advices to save energy. They also can give some articles, some instruments for saving energy, such as switches or timers or energy saving bulbs and so on, for free to these households, that they can save their bills. This is a project that started about 10 years ago. We, as an energy agency in the district of Kassel, participated from the beginning. We are the only rural agency working in this. All the others are in the big cities. When we started. And this is a very, very good project. There we can help the people. And the utility company Wolfhagen, the Stadtwerke, for example, gives subsidy for buying a new fridge. So if we see when visiting the households that there's an old fridge with a high energy consumption, they can get it for a very low price, the subsidy of the project and the subsidy of the energy company in Wolfhagen. And this is one thing we do actually here. We also consult people, help them if they have problems to pay their bills. And yes, it's very, very important to speak early with the people. Yes, our company had an advisory board we implemented, and there are present the members of the city parliament of the company and also the members of the energy cooperative. And they work close together in developing the company. So, and we have every moment the view on our people to save money for people. And with this construction, we had a good income for our city and for the people, because the benefits of the company go 100% to our people, 1/3 to the energy cooperative, to the members, and 2/3 to our city council. So, and then there we can finance kindergarten and other social projects, and also can make new projects for energy consulting, for helping people for saving energy. For example, we had founded a thing called it's a Stiftung. I don't know the English word actually. It's a Stiftung, it's a foundation. Yes, it's a foundation for energy saving. So the city gives money in it, and also the utility company, the Stadtwerke. And then we finance small investments in energy saving things, such as energy saving pumps for the heating systems, or insulation of the houses, or electric bikes instead of taking motorbikes or cars, and some things like this. So this is financed from the city, from the income from the renewable energies. And yes, actually we had to change our structures from the company, because I said in the beginning, the company makes also water supply. And there we have to, normally we have to make an European tender if you have a company with participation of private persons. And that was a problem that we saw 2 years ago. And we decided not to make a European tender and to privatize our water supply, or with a danger to do that. So, and we wanted to keep the water supply in our own hands. So that meant we had to divide the companies. So we had a new process for discussion. And now, at the end of 2020, we had two companies, actually. One is the Stadtwerke Wolfhagen, the old company together with the city corporation. They do the plants for, or they manage the plants for renewable energies, and they sell the energy. It's electricity and gas. And the other company is for the grids. So the electricity grid, the water grid, and street lighting and so on. And this company is now fully owned by our city, 100%. It's also a limited company, but fully owned by the city. And in this construction, we are now working on. And yes, our city works are planning to do more investments in renewable energy, and in new projects such as heating systems, and also looking for some things in the field of mobility. Yes, I saw it said the participation on the cooperative is, I think, so easy as possible to sell or to buy small shares. That's it. It allows a lot of people to participate there also. But on the other way, we try to help with our subsidies from the foundation to save energy and to save energy costs. And in all things we do, we discuss it with our people. So with the citizens, with inhabitants. We had in the former years some big discussion groups. We had a fair with all active people working in energy, with craftsmen, everything that they come together and work together. And the main factor is to advise the people, that you have the experts who can help the people. That is what we learned. We have to speak with the people. And the main factor is to not, in most cases, the money, but the knowledge to do something. So, Yes, we have in the cooperative, we have the advisory boards with some people, and we have a so-called Energiebeirat. It's a group of people, about 10 to 12, from the members, all professions, which they meet regularly and develop ideas for the cooperative, what they can do. So the cooperative by itself also gave subsidies for its members for energy saving. So such as energy saving fridges or washing machines or something like that. So energy saving lightings. And the project was developed by this group of people. And they all also look for new projects for the cooperative. So the cooperative is not only involved in the projects of the city utility company, but now they have other projects. They had shares in other wind farms, so they buy them, and they have some own PV plants on public buildings of the city. So and they earn some money from these PV plants for the cooperative, but the city also saves money from these plants. And they just develop these things for further projects. Also in the field of mobility with electric cars. So they subsidized, gave money for the cars and for the infrastructure of charging and so such things. Directly in the municipality, we have now, after the big research project, when it stopped some years ago, we have now an energy manager in the municipality, or a climate manager. It's also subsidized by the state. And his work is to advise the people and to monitor the savings of energy, of climate gases, and so on. And he works in this field in direct connection with the utility company and the energy cooperative and others. So he now is a key factor, and we had a decision to keep him in the city council. We have not so much money here in Wolfhagen. It's not a rich city, but it's an important thing for our future, and we will keep him. And I think we will more doing in the field of energy saving and climate protection, because we know that it's also economical for us, for our city. So we have a lot of companies now working in this field. We have jobs concerning to this, and we had to save this and to develop it further on. Yes, with our own utility company, we started. So, and we saved the jobs, and we built new jobs from 15 jobs or 20 in the year of 2000. Now there are 35 working in this, and this company has also the grids in 2 other villages around, or communities around. So this is a main factor, and we also have some companies here working with energy efficiency or renewable energies. So a factory for insulating glasses are a factory for combined heat and power plants. And they are a key factor, and they are growing because some made the decision to come to Wolfhagen because, oh, this is an energy efficient city, and it's next to us. Also, it's a good place for us to go. And nevertheless, we have also some local companies, craftsmen, working in this, installing PV plants, installing heating systems with renewable energies, with heat pumps, and so on. And also one company developing PV plants. Here it's not some local people founded it some years ago. They had their own big PV plants with participation of the citizens. Everybody had also the chance to participate in these companies, but with great amounts of money, not only this 500 euros, but it might be a little bit more, but there are enough people to do this, and they also develop actually new projects in cooperation with our city utility company. So this means we get more jobs in this, and we need it also for maintenance of these plants, for the windmills, for the PV plants, for the heating systems. We need more jobs for maintenance here than a few years ago with all oil heating systems and selling or buying the energy from outside. The financing was at one point from our citizens with the shares they buy and their money they put into the company. And on the other side, it was a financing by the bank. So we get loans from our local banks for this project, and this works. We had for our renewable energy plants no money taken from our city council. So they made the decision to do that, and the company can do that, but they have not to pay for it. One thing they have to do to get the safety for the loans. So if the company gets into trouble or something like that, then the city would have to pay for that. That's one risk, but it's not so big at the time because we had a lot of fields of working with different plants. So it's diversification or our works with the grids and with water supply and solar and wind and so on. So there's no big risk for doing this. So the city gets the profits of the company, but they had not to give money in the company. And this is possible if you have projects which are economical. So that's the main aim in the beginning to have a construction with an economical concept for our energy plants. And there we have one benefit in Germany that I have to say with the renewable energy law. So this guaranteed us a good income from the electricity produced in these plants. So that we participated from this law. I know that's not in every country, so we have different conditions in the different places. Insulation houses are energy efficiency works in the houses are also subsidized by the state. Yes, that's so. In Germany, we have some different programs from the Environment Ministry for subsidizing that, and also in the state of Hesse or country, they also give some money for special projects. And this combined with some subsidy from our own gives an interesting possibility for financing that. So a lot of people can participate from that, and the banks also work together with us. Some banks have own programs for with cheaper money to give in so these projects. And yes, this was put together, and for that you need good experts to help the people. How can I get the money, and what are the best investments for me? And so we are helping with our agency with consulting. Also, the climate manager from the city makes this advice. So we have a network for consulting, for helping the people. And this is also an important factor, to take the people at the end and say, this is the best for your special house to do. And yes, we can help. We have some problems where we just working on. These are old houses where elderly people live, where the children are away in other cities, and they have a big house and say, no, I have no money to invest, but because I don't know what happened with this house. And I always say I have money, but I don't put it in the house because I like traveling and so on, and I don't care for it because I don't know what happened later. And there we have just to work. We had some ideas in other cities nearby. They founded also cooperatives who take such houses and renovating it, insulation and energy efficiency topics. And then they sell it or they rent it to other people. And we are just thinking about doing something similar here to improve our situation. Company. Yes, our utility company first was a small company owned by the city of Wolfhagen. It's a part of the city council. In 1998, and it's working since 1940 or so it's very old, but as part of the city council, because every decision has to be made by the mayor, by the politicians, and so on. And it was at that time very difficult, and because you cannot found fast decisions. It was very heavy and slowly. And in the beginning of the liberalization of the energy market, we were for the decision to develop our company or to sell it to the big utility company. So, and then we made the decision, no, we would keep it for our city. And formed a new limited company. That was the first step. Put this part of the administration now into a private company, but fully owned by the city council. So that means we could make faster decisions, and it was more flexible in working. And that was the first important step to do that. And the second step was to buy the grids from the utility company from our rural districts. Yes, and this was other cities took the other way. They sold their companies to the big player, and this one was also sold to another big player. And then, yes, it was difficult for them to develop own energy projects. What I can say is that the most important factor are the acting people. So you need some people working together with the same target and who can manage it. Not everything what that's technical will be possible is possible to realize if the people don't participate or don't take it. So we have some projects in our head. They were good and technical and economical, everything okay, but we are missing the people. So we cannot realize these projects. But if you have the people to do it and work together, and then it's possible to do things. And for me, that's the main factor. And for me as a technician, I had to learn it because in former times I saw it from the technical view, and then we have to learn. No, it's not only technical, so it's also the other people, the social contacts, and so on.